knew I am a psycho. I told you I'm a psycho. You knew I'm a psycho. I told you I'm a psycho. Really, I'm a psycho. Told you. Really, I'm a psycho. You knew I am a psycho. I told you I'm a psycho. Really, I'm a psycho. You knew I'm a psycho. I told you I'm a psycho. 'Cause really I'm a psycho. I told you I'm a psycho, psycho, psycho. You knew I'm a psycho.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everybody. I hope you guys have been having a great day. Ladies, we are going to go into our seed reveals for the 6 APC, as well as right after this, we'll jump straight into our round of 16. My name is Gami Crayola. I am your host for, of course, 6 APC, and joining me in the commentary booth, our lovely hit pooler, Mirage Fire. What's good, Mirage?
Hello.
Yep, as well as my co-cast for the seed review portion of the streams, Sister First. How are you doing?
Yes, doing absolutely amazing. Just very happy to be here. Honestly, very happy to be here.
Yep, that's right. Um, just a reminder to everybody, we had about 17 teams that played calls, and to all the teams that did play calls, thank you so much. Your participation means a lot to us. Um, Meanwhile, only the top 16 teams, however, will be eligible to participate in the bracket stage. So there is one unfortunate team that we'll get into later on that unfortunately will not be moving forward into the bracket stage. But it is what it is. But yeah, Sisyphus, do you have any last words to say before we jump straight into the seed review? I don't want to belabor on for too long.
Nothing at all. Honestly, it is just a I'm gonna just say preemptive. I'm sorry. Obviously to the seed 17. Just a preemptive. Just unfortunate. Honestly.
Yeah, but with that, I mean, we've been talking a lot about the seed 17, but let's jump straight into the seed review. I hope you guys are excited, as excited as me. Let's jump straight into it. And seed 17 is going to be Pakistan. Definitely one of the most unfortunate seedings that we will be seeing in this tournament. I think in 6WC, Pakistan was known as the miracle country, the country to topple Indonesia, which we will be seeing later on in this bracket in the 6-digit World Cup. But unfortunately, not quite able to replicate the sort of performance that they had during the 6-digit World Cup. And yeah, unfortunately, will be the bottom seed. 07's in chat. Nothing much more to be said. This is one of those teams with a full roster, but unfortunately, you know, the full roster just was not enough to make the difference. Demon for Days being the standout player of this team. But yeah, once again, in a team size 4 tournament, you really gotta rely on all of your players being able to provide that overall solid team score for your team. But yeah, with that, Sisyphus, would you like to take it away? Moving on.
Yes, unfortunately, we do not have Demon, to carry the team to seed 16. However, our seed 16 is in fact going to be Indonesia's B
Oh,
squad here, which is honestly, this team is just a very standout performance here when it comes to this free model one, which honestly makes a lot of sense. See, largely in the fact that this team does have some pretty strong hidden players, and we see that largely in these hidden 2 scores, or let me see where they got C13. So this is a team that honestly can in fact get a few upset points, especially when you look at gimmick, or let me see, because this gimmick roster, or let me see where we do see, where we do see we see Rescue, and do we see Surya. I'm not sure who their fourth is. I don't exactly know who they played, when it comes to hidden 2, but I do believe that this I'm gonna see that this gimmick roster does have a lot of potential, and beyond that, they still do have, they do still have a lot of room when it comes to just getting or just picks, random points every here and there. See where we see C to 14 on Nomad 2, but see with this team will honestly have to fight really hard, as they are going to be going against Seed 1 right away, which is not going to be a fun experience for honestly anyone. See, after just knowing who the Seed 1 team is, but
Yeah.
Seed 16 out of the way.
Yeah, that's
Go
right.
ahead.
We're gonna move straight into seat 15. And it's going to be Team Hong Kong. Gonna be our a 5-man roster coming in from Team Hong Kong. I mean, Hong Kong throughout the six digit series or the 6-digit World Cup series hasn't typically been known to be that strong. I believe their strongest lineup was in 6WC 2023 under the leadership of Kisei 6969, but unfortunately, I mean, I think the PP rework definitely messed up a lot of the players from Hong Kong, or at least toppled any sort of competition that they had from Hong Kong, really pushing out a lot of players in the rank range, and that's why we are gonna see a 5-man roster from Team Hong Kong. In contrast to what we saw from Indonesia B, Hong Kong really doesn't have any standout performances. It's really about it's a much more well-rounded team than Indonesia B, but they definitely do have their weaknesses, that being very clearly in the hidden. So going to the bracket stage, they definitely need, I think, to play around these weaknesses on the hidden.
Yeah, that is not wrong. We do see just plenty of great scores all around. The RMC that can definitely just nab away some points from the C2. However, with Hong Kong out of the way, we do in fact see another team that will in fact be below below the 8-man roster, which will instead be a 7-man. If we can move on to seed 14, which will in fact be Malaysia. See in this squad. See, this is a team that does have plenty of fairly standout performances where we do see that largely on these tapping picks. We see Nomad 2, we see 9, we see DT2, Seed 7, we see Seed 8 on Hard Rock 1. So plenty of just amazing tapping potential, and I'm really excited to just see. It's like I want to see just how well this team will in fact be able to perform on these tapping picks, and I would honestly be surprised to see if tapping in general is not going to be banned away from these guys. You see this purely because of the fact that or we see that like their top placements are all on tapping, and I don't really see a world where this team reasonably be allowed to just play tapping in general. Or obviously, and even see however beyond that, we do still generally see comfort when it comes to basically every single mod. Obviously, especially DTs, where they got seed 10 on the mod respectively. Or obviously, largely carried by that DT performance, but seed 14 on DT1 is also still a pretty respective team score. And honestly, again, I fully expect this team, to just basically absolutely pop off when it comes to tapping in general, or especially like looking at the first round or two. This is a team that has the potential, or to just effectively this lowest R diff, or
Mm-hmm.
just lowest R diff, whoever they'll be against. But that's will in fact be all
Yep.
for Malaysia.
That is, I mean, one thing before we move on from Malaysia, I think Malaysia definitely hit very hard from the rework. A lot of their hard-hitting players, like, LSC, Glaucia, who really rounded off the Malaysian roster way back in 6WC, alongside someone here as well who, even though is in the rank range, unfortunately will not be playing this year for Malaysia. Uh, Unfortunately, they lost a lot of their hard hitters, and it really does show in this unfortunate team performance. Malaysia, not too well known as being the strongest country, but definitely a consistent middle ground performer. And I think, at least for APC, they definitely aren't in the form that they typically are in the World Cup series. But yeah, let's move on to seed 13. And it's going to be Singapore. I mean, Malaysia and Singapore sitting right beside each other. This is my homeland. Singapore losing all of our strong players. I mean, you think of Law3270, Askaze, Beankurt, all of these strong players from the second place roster of 6WC 2024. Really just losing not just those players, but a lot of the players from Singapore B, which was the minor league runner-up in 2024 as well, in 2024 of 6WC. And as you can see, this team is very, very strong on no mod, but they have a extremely glaring weakness when it comes to the hiddens. Really, number 14 and number 16, really not what you want to see, especially when you look at the free mods as well, just not looking too hot. on all fronts when it comes to the mods. However, on the no mod, they're definitely able to hold their own. I think number six on no mod 1 and no mod 2 respectively. Not to mention a very respectable score on Hard Rock 1 and DT1. So I think going into the bracket stage, Singapore needs to be very careful of how they pick around their mods, especially on the hiddens. Gonna take a close look at some of the players. The only member of the Singapore roster from the old 6WC squad is King of Lim, who was one of the carry players of Singapore B, coming back to captain Team Singapore. So under their leadership, we're definitely hoping to see, or me personally, I'm definitely hoping to see Singapore go above and beyond this 6 APC iteration. But yeah, let's move on to C12. Sisyphus, take it away.
Yes, I'm looking at C12. We do in fact have Australia. This is a squad that is going to be defined by their performances, and we do see that 2.6 on DT1, seed 4 on the respective slot, and we do see we see a handful of other single digit seeds, seed A Hard Rock 2, seed 9 on No Mod 4, Hidden 1 respectively, and another seed 8 on T3 Mod 1. However, this is a squad that honestly, I believe that they can kind of, or like this is a team that can honestly do a lot, especially on these more aim heavy picks. Obviously, despite them getting seed 6, seed no matter one, I fully believe that may have just been a large underperformance from this team, or I'm seeing, especially in the fact that like looking at these players, or obviously like the main one, that I'm, or obviously that kind of does like call out to me when it comes to like just this team's the strength on consistency will in fact be Clordle. Or obviously Clordle has been a very long-standing like just great aim player in general. Obviously, as well as one half of a very disgusting Edator couple.
Oh, hell nah.
Yes, the, I'm continuing to look at. I'm continuing, to look at this Australia roster, we do see Kobe, who I believe is a really good gimmick player, if I recall correctly. And and beyond that, I'm not the most familiar. I do know, I do know that Grubbs is really good on Hard Rock, or like I think that Grubbs is just a great low star player in general. But beyond that, this Australia team does have the potential, to just absolutely crush on DT, and we saw that in qualifiers. However, moving on to seed 11, we'll go ahead, Gammy.
It's gonna be China B, and China is always one of those countries that are a bit of an enigma. I mean, this because of the language barrier and whatnot. They always are sort of outliers from every single World Cup series, aside from maybe the 5-digit World Cup series where a lot of their players are international players as well. But and that's why I think China B definitely going to be a very interesting team to look at. And for the record, China A as well. Taking a quick look at their scores, I mean, immediately the standout score from the Chinese roster is going to be Hard Rock 2. It's going to be a number 3 performance on Hard Rock 2 is definitely nothing to scoff at whatsoever. And meanwhile, you take a look at all of their scores overall, and you really realize that they are very consistent outside of the Hard Rocks on all of their other mod slots. No other mod slot really shines as bright as the Hard Rock, but where they shine, they definitely do shine bright. So that is definitely gonna be something to look out for if you are facing against China B in the bracket stage.
Yeah, yes, you are not wrong. And this is a team that is just full of just great Hard Rock 2 players. And I am so happy. And as a Hard Rock 2 enjoyer, as a Precision main, I'm very happy to see. I'm very happy to see a seed 3 Hard Rock 3. You see, however, it's sort of this low, but but just above them at seed 10 is going to be Philippines B, which
Oh
is
boy.
the second half, which features the second half of a very disgusting Edator couple, which is going to be weary. However, aside from that, this squad, this is honestly just a topping roster through and through. We see that with the seed 5 DT2, seed 8, seed, And see, we do see some pretty solid scores. See, even beyond that, see, like what's the lowest performance, we see, or like just being these non-mechanic picks. See, in Nomad 3, Nomad 4, where they got C12, which I honestly kind of believe that that may be a bit of an avenue that these players may, or let me see, may in fact, or let me see. Like, I do believe that this is a team that may or may not get abused on these more non-mechanics focused picks. Or however, when it comes to just sheer mechanics, when it comes to when it comes to just anything that's either aim or tapping, this is a squad that has the potential to just really perform insanely well. And we see that a lot. Right, like we do see that, like see really well just in this roster in general. See, but largely, through players, Kurikara, who's great at mechanics, or we see Mikhail, who's a great tapping player in general, especially on Nomad 2s, I believe. We do have like Luna Ray, who's another just great tapping player in general. With like Don Clark, just a really solid player. So this is a team, or also Weary, dude. Like there's like great like,
FA by the way.
mechanics go.
Featured artist,
Yeah, like,
featured artist.
Yes. Weary. Weary. I believe the only featured artist that is playing in this tournament. See, it absolutely. See, also don't know like that guy makes great music. He makes great music, honestly.
Yeah, but that's right. I mean, you put it very well, Sisyphus. I think you did some really great coverage on Philippines B. But yeah, let's move along to seed 9, and it is going to be Vietnam B. We're going from B team to B team. This team is very, very interesting to say the least. They have two standout players in Cavid and FireRed88, who FireRed88 probably one of the longest standing tourney players in the 6-digit scene, full stop. I believe they have been here ever since 6WC1, playing for the Vietnamese team all the way back in 2021, 2022, if I'm not wrong. And of course, Vietnam as a country has always been a very, very consistent performer, always performing in the upper echelon of the 6-digit scene. And funnily enough, fun fact, Vietnam is not known for sending B teams to World Cup matches or World Cup tournaments. And I believe this is the first Vietnamese minor league or Vietnamese B team that we have seen in at least a while, in a hot second. But yeah, not going to talk so much about that. Gonna move quickly to the scores. The no mods and hiddens, alongside their free mods, are definitely going to be their avenue for abuse. FireRed88, a very, very well-known hidden player and a very strong and scary hidden player for Vietnam B. So it goes by. It is no surprise that they are incredibly strong on these fronts. Meanwhile, the Hard Rocks and DTs, they do seem to struggle quite a lot, but I definitely think they can play around that going into the bracket stage. Very excited to see how Vietnam B performs overall. I mean, a lot of new and upcoming 20 players in Police VN, Avery 20, and Cathany, alongside my personal favorite, my wife Miku. I remember them all the way back from CBT 3 during that era, and it's very great to see them back. But yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, you see, yes, and looking at this Vietnamese B team, see, honestly, this is a squad that I'm very surprised is a B team, or it's like largely in fact, like you have Fire Ready, or like you have Fire Ready, you have Kevin, you have Miku. Like this is a squad that honestly I don't really see B. Like this is like I believe that some of these players are like wrongfully put in this B squad. See, mainly Fire Red, like, but this team. See, and honestly, like, I'm very interested in seeing how well they do when it comes to hiddens and free mods, as well as just these. Honestly, anything that's like lower BPM and just like lower AR. However, the team that will be going against the Vietnamese B team.
That is an exciting match.
We will in fact be seeing some great hidden battles. We will see some pretty similar squads, or some pretty similar like skill wise at least, as this seed 8 is going to be India, and this so if you look at just like the rankings when it comes to their scores. Like this is going to be a great match, honestly. Or obviously, like looking at India versus Vietnam or Vietnam B, this obviously these are both teams that are very much they're very much just great nomad and great hidden rosters, and we can fully expect just an absolutely great match between these two. Or and when it comes to this Indian roster, right? Um, there is a very discernible thing lacking here, and that is Rocky Miku.
No!
Dude, yeah, dude, it's very unfortunate. Or to not see Rocky Miku here. Or with Rocky, the guys has been like MA, or like the guys has been like MIA for months at this point. Yeah, which is very unfortunate. Or obviously because that guy would have been great addition to the squad. I really would have loved to see him here, and I honestly believe that if Rocky were to have been on the squad, or like see like these weaknesses in hard rock and DT, as well as like the C12 free mod, genuinely would have been like truly like rectified to some extent. However, that is unfortunately just not going to be the case, and we can fully expect like these high, like even like these high-ish AR picks to be fully abused.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Nothing much more to say. I mean, I would like to shout out My Angel Rune and It's Ray for being two players that have been popping off pretty hard in the pre-tourney events. Huge shout outs to them for supporting us. But yeah, I mean, you probably covered everything, Sisyphus. That hidden one score is definitely very, very impressive. But yeah, other than that, nothing too much for me to add on. Let's move on to Seed 7. And we are really getting closer and closer to that fabled Seed 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna see Taiwan B. This is a very, very interesting team for me. I think gonna real quick switch over to the scores. And immediately you see that this is a very, very well-rounded team. Possibly the most well-rounded team that we've seen thus far. They all their scores hover over the 8th place range, which is very, very solid. It means that you have no weaknesses, but it also kind of means that you don't really have any strengths. Until you realize that free mod performance is very, very scary. Third on free mod 1. I mean, that just goes to show that overall, as a team, they are very, very well-rounded all across the board. The one player, I mean, there are a few players that I'd like to mention from Taiwan B. In particular, Eric 44 has been a player that's really been catching my eye lately. Been making leaps and bounds in their improvement alongside Command 61, I believe. During screening, they were the one with the funny playtime graph or the funny rank graph. I can't remember. As well as my personal favorite player in the tournament, and I'm gonna read the entire name out: 9693635565. And I quote the goat who said, "Give it 6 back." Oh my goodness, I love this. I love this player. Incredible mapper. The winner of the pooling contest, if I'm not wrong, as well, and a phenomenal low AR hidden player in their own right. But yeah, me personally, really looking forward to seeing how Taiwan B perform in 6 APC.
Yeah, I am too. Yes, I am too. Obviously, especially when it comes to these free mod picks, and especially when it comes to these more gimmicky or when it comes to just non-mechanics in general. However, however, a team that I am more excited to see is a team that has one of the people that I've teamed with the most in any tournament
Mm.
ever, and that is going to be South Korea, looking at Seed 6, which features Paradigm, my hidden goat.
Oh.
Because this squad is because I believe this is our lowest. Oh, no, this is our highest seeded. This is our highest seeded team that does not have a full 8-man roster. And
Mm.
and if anyone if any group of 6 players or are going to be this high, it is going to be the South Korean roster. I see, which is largely just being pulled through by Paradigm and let me see, and Mind Namo. You see, I'm not. I believe Gaisel, Sora, are first timers. I'm not
Oh.
entirely sure. Same with Terry. I believe.
Oh.
I'm not familiar. Like I've not seen these guys at all.
Oh,
These are
you
potential
don't
first
even
timers.
know. Well, I personally did some background research on some of these players, and yes, you have 13 Paradigm and Maijo Namo. Yes, we know them for their work in standard. We know them for their stuff in 6-digit. But uh, ladies and gentlemen, this South Korean roster actually has an Osu champion. Not in standard, of course, but they are in fact a 4K Mania champion. So Gaysol definitely no stranger to at least the tournament
Oh wait,
scene as a
what?
whole. But coming into standard, having an incredibly stacked batch lineup themselves. I mean, me personally, South Korea, even though not having a full roster, the fact that they were able to fill out this, they were able to perform so well in this qualifier seeding just goes to show how strong these individual players from SKR. And I mean, me personally, sure, you know, Taiwan might have had a pretty exciting roster to watch, but we are looking at an OSU champion in this random 6-digit tournament play standard. And yeah, you know what? Me personally, very excited to see how South Korea perform moving forward.
Yes, yes, and honestly, and this is okay. Also, this is a team that dude, this squad genuinely is going to have like the greatest nerve control ever.
Oh my goodness, yes.
This is a team that is full of just genuine nerves of steel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, or okay. Anyway, I say, actually looking at their scores, to absolutely no surprise, you see their top performances being in this hidden, or which is honestly, which is largely on the back like of both Paradigm and obviously on top of the fact that Namo is also just a great all rounder when it comes to anything that's honestly not DT see kind of just being good at everything else. You see in the squad will honestly be able to perform on damn near everything. We do see a fairly weak free mod, which is a bit surprising.
Mm-hmm.
However, then again, I do believe that this team kind of struggles when it comes to fielding, like a third modded player, however, I fully expect this team, to absolutely run rampant, like when it comes to these lower SR rounds, and this is a
Mm-hmm.
squad that that you absolutely do not want to take the tiebreaker, obviously, because this is a team
Yeah.
that obviously like again, this is a squad that will in fact have genuine nerves of steel. These like I've never seen Paradigm shake.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes with and Namo. But
Yep.
but that's all
Let's
from me.
move straight along to Seed 5, and right now we're getting into the favorites to win the entire thing. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Vietnam A. Vietnam B might have outseeded Philippines, but you know, Vietnam unfortunately getting the back foot when it came to this 1v1. But this Vietnamese roster is pretty damn stacked, if I do say so myself. We have, of course, the GMT rep, the one and only My Angel Chino, captain leading this roster. A very, very good captain, a very tenured player in their own right. And of course, you have a lot of standout players from the old six-digit World Cup Vietnamese roster. You have Square Brackets, you have Fnugas, you have Rena 1, and you have Sinks. Overall, a very, very well-rounded team, and I personally am really looking forward to see how a lot of these more experienced players fare in the bracket stage. Taking a quick look at their scores, they really do shine bright when it comes to their DTs and Hard Rock. So on the mechanics picks, I definitely think that Vietnam will be a force to be reckoned with, especially given how you have very strong players like Chino, like Rena 1 and Fnugas making a splash on some of these mechanics picks. I mean, very, very solid all across the board. And one thing I'd like to mention, let everybody give a round of applause for Rena 1, our returning player from, I believe, the A team of Vietnam 6WC 2023. So yeah, great to have them back in the 6-digit tournament scene. And yeah, Sisyphus, take it away. On to you.
Yes. I'm looking at this Vietnam roster. This is just a full squad. Like, this is a very well-rounded roster. The only issue is that we do see some slight consistency issues that we see that with these longer maps in Nomad 1, Nomad 3, and Hidden 1. However, another slight issue is that this team might experience some skill cap issues potentially, it's like if they do end up making it later on into the tournament, which they very likely will, because this is a great squad. But I do fear just potential skill cap errors. However, however, that's nowhere near enough, or to really just count this team out by any means. All right, and now moving on to seed 4. We do in fact
boy.
have the scariest team on the roster that
Oh,
we've seen
what?
so far in Taiwan.
What?
Gemi, tell us about this roster.
Personally, of all the teams that I expected to see in Seed 4, Taiwan was one of the rosters which I did not expect. sorry for taking the mic from you, Sisyphus, but
No, you're
we
right.
have a bunch of really really solid players from this Taiwan roster. I'm looking at you, Magician 8910. I mean, I've known them since they started playing tournaments, and they've been really improving by leaps and bounds in the coming 6WCs, in the previous 6WCs, pardon me, and moving forward. Of course, we also have AFKII and Susfries, the two newcomers from the Taiwanese roster, I believe. And overall, similar to a lot of the Chinese teams, the Chinese B, A teams, as well as the Taiwanese B teams. I mean, really, it's very hard to predict how this team will play out moving forward in the bracket stage. Really, a lot of these players not too well known, with the exception of course, I mentioned before, Mo Shujia or Magician on this roster. So, yeah, Sisyphus, do you want to take us for a ride with the scores?
Yes, and there are two very, very blatantly obvious ones to bring attention to, but one more so. This 3.2 mil on Afterlight, which is free mod 1. This is okay. This is just a crazy score, especially when it comes to a free mod pick. And this is actually, I believe, this is the highest team score that we've seen like up until this point. However, a little fun fact and a little forewarning, or let me see to the next three teams. This is the last time, or this is the last time, or at least for a bit, that we will see a seed 1 mod seed. So kind of just a little forewarning, but we do end up seeing a seed 2 in no mod as a whole, which honestly makes perfect sense here. Top 3 in all 3 no mod slots, and so we see just great scores all around. See not a single double digit seed when it comes to any map. And honestly, that is just a testament to show just how well-rounded this team is. We may see some slight hidden issues, or I see, especially going against these more hidden-centric rosters, or like especially going against it's like maybe like a Vietnam B, or like a South Korea, or like an India, or like just like these more hidden, there's more hidden focused teams. However, that is always bannable by Taiwan. And anyway. Moving on from Taiwan, we will in fact have our seed
Oh boy.
3, which is going to be China. And this is a squad that is, again, a very well-rounded team. And we do see plenty of just very well-known names, especially Akemi. Or I'm see Akemi, just a great all-rounder, with the sole exception of like Hard Rock 2, maybe, or like Hard Rock 2, or just Hard Rock as a mod. We do see plenty of other just great players here. We do see Doobie Words, Falling Spirit is just great. Like, honestly, this is a squad full of just amazingly talented players, and we do see that with them taking a seed 3 here. Go ahead, Gammy.
That's right. I mean, we have, of course, the newcomer Ikmi coming in for this roster, but we also have Falling Sprite, Falling Sprite, who is actually a very, very old player. I believe they sort of flag changed from Cyprus, but for some reason they are living in Canada or something. I don't really know what their situation is, but regardless, they are a very, very solid player coming into 6 APC. We'll also like to mention Mike 2333333 for being a very old player, I believe, a very tenured player as well. So really, China brings a very good blend of your strong newcomers with the experience as well. Taking a quick look at their scores, and you realize this is probably the most well-rounded team that we will be seeing, that we have seen thus far. I mean, this team does not drop below top 5 on any mod slot, and they sort of hover around top 3 on everything else. And really, all of these team scores, with maybe the exception of No Mod 2, are very, very difficult to beat. And of course, China going into the later rounds might see themselves getting skill capped here and there, but I think overall they will be able to put up a very solid performance moving forward in the bracket stage. And might I mention, Taiwan and China, two countries that you normally don't see pop up very often when you're thinking about strong Asian countries, but they are definitely proving themselves in the 6 APC. Maybe more so for Taiwan than China, because China is in fact a podium finisher of one of the 6-digit World Cups, I believe, in 2023. But that's it. Impressive nonetheless, especially given how, unknown most of these players are. Let's move on to the big top two. Ladies and gentlemen, who is it gonna be? Revealing this next seed, it's gonna reveal the number one seed as well. Surprising absolutely no one. The seed one is going to be the Philippines. But, Sisyphus, would you like to take us through this seed two team being Indonesia?
Yes, yes. Yes. Looking at this Indonesian roster, this honestly doesn't really make. It doesn't really make much surprise to anyone here. See, largely in the fact that this is a team that that is backed by by Emar, or like we have players like Emar, who's just an absolutely crazy good player, or it's like also an insanely well-rounded player at that. Emar, or it's like we've seen Emar, just perform insanely well. Like when it comes to 1v1 tournaments, where he performed really well in Kisaragi Cup, where he was like top 10, or I think he's like top 5 seeded. I don't really remember. Or however aside from Emar, or we see Granso as well, or we see Granso, like this is a squad full of great players. We do see some fairly new names, I believe, or like Wazdi and Izaris. I'm not the most familiar with these players, but but go ahead and tell us about the rest of these players.
Yeah, I mean that's right. While I was doing, while I was looking through some of these players before this, I mean, Full Ultra definitely stands out to me, being a flag change from Turkey, if I'm not wrong. They are an incredible combo gamer who I've seen perform very, very well in the 7F pre-tourney event. So definitely looking out for them moving forward in the tournament. Hints as well, a very solid player in their own right, a very solid new and up and coming player. But other than that, I'm unfortunately not too familiar with a lot of these players. I mean, that just is the nature with, the PP rework having so many new players coming in for all of the countries. But with that said, I mean, unfortunately for this Indonesian roster, they will not be having their standout star of the show. Zarelli are coming in for the carry, but unfortunately they were screened out due to a suspicious account. I mean, I will not comment too much about that, but given how they did lose such a big hitter, this seeding is honestly nothing short of incredibly impressive. The seed 1 team is far and away, without a doubt, probably the best team in the tournament, but this is definitely giving them a run for their money. You look at across all of their mod slots and they really only falter on the DTs. It looks like they seem to struggle a bit on the tapping, but I think these are definitely outlets that you can play around. But yeah, Sisyphus, do you have anything to add on before we move on to the big seed 1?
Nothing at all.
Yep. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you your seed 1 of 6 APC, surprising absolutely no one, going into the Philippines. I think this roster has been fabled for a long, long time. Philippines, through and through, the most consistent country when it comes to the Asian sphere, when it comes to your, overall team performances, when it comes to, your 6 WCs. Through and through, they have always been your country, the country that you look out for to shine above and beyond. And I mean, this Filipino roster is definitely making their mark. Just this team full of incredibly stacked players. You have Dormi, Idex, Junior Origami, Camus Mako, and of course, I cannot mention the Filipino roster without mentioning their old player coming in from Hushin. I believe the C team from 6WC 2024. But of course, the big star of the show of this roster, sort of like the Dragonfire of 6 EC, it's going to be Idex Vendrique. Yes. Probably far and away the best player in the tournament by far, and it is no surprise that, I mean, looking at the Philippines roster, this is what is to come. When you look at this roster, you don't think about how to beat them. You don't really think about any strategy whatsoever. The only feeling that you can feel is fear.
Yes, you are not wrong. Yes, you are not wrong, because this squad is genuinely just through and through going to be an absolute menace. This is a team that took the top seed on every single mod aside from free mod. So this is going to leave teams with a bit of a question mark on what you can even think to attack against this roster. Or
Mm-hmm.
see, it's purely because the fact that this, because or it's purely because the fact that this squad, you you can't really like. There's so much that you just can't do. You see, and this squad is like this squad is also missing both Shion or like missing both Shion and Jix, which then again Jix is a very likely screen, but or there's also a squad that doesn't have Shion or so their gimmick it's like their gimmick is still slightly weakened, but they still got seed 1 hidden too, like in spite of that, and that kind of just shows like kind of just how great this squad is, and this. Like dude, like okay, like I just love these guys, or I mean like Dami, Idex, Camo, they're just great people, honestly, like really fun to interact with, and I am very excited. You know, like I mean, I will in fact love just to ref these guys because they're also just a lot of fun in lobby, but
Mm-hmm.
but this squad again, yeah, but like again, just genuinely is going to be very hard to play into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, I fully believe that free mod could have been, you see, like that could have been a lot better. Or but like it might have just been a fluke, or it might have just been Idex, just trembling, on the hard rock.
I hate this
That's probably
guy.
my guess. That's probably my guess.
Yeah, but I think this A6 APC is definitely Philippines, the Philippines kingdom to rule. I think, I mean, me personally, I know I'm not supposed to be biased as a host, but funnily enough, we have a Osu World Champion, the Mania World Cup champion from South Korea in this tournament, and I sincerely think that Philippines will just steamroll through the entire competition of 6 APC, and because
Yes.
I really do not see any country even coming close to the Philippines. But I am saying that with my fingers crossed. We've seen miracles happen before. The same thing could be said with Brazil in 6WC, being the undisputed best country in the world at that point, and even that match was a match to watch. So, ladies and gentlemen, even though the Philippines looking extremely strong coming into 6 APC, I definitely think that there is still hope for another country to come out on top at the very very end. And I mean, I don't want to be a doomer, but like every single time we've said that Philippines would number one, they always seem to fuck it up. Think back to 6WC 2023 where they were predicted to be the number one team, and guess where they ended up? In group stage losers. Anyways, jokes aside,
Oh my god.
huge congratulations to the Philippines for a absolutely mind-numbingly incredible performance, to say the very least. And honestly, that is just an understatement. But yeah,
Yeah.
ladies and
Or
gentlemen, yep, go for it, Sisyphus.
there's actually one more comment that I have to make about this team.
Mm-hmm.
And see, okay, so a thing that does make this team especially scary is the fact that, like, looking at this Philippines roster, this is a team like that scales with SR. Or I'm like largely looking at both IDEX and Camo. These are two players that just like they can perform on or like they can get like 2 or like 300k on like 6.5. Like these these guys are not real. This team is not real.
Yep, that's right. And I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what goes down in the bracket stage. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching this seed review of 6 APC. Huge congratulations to all of the teams who qualify, and 07s to the one country that didn't. It is what it is. Moving forward into the bracket stage, the top 16 teams will be facing off each other in the bracket stage. And yeah, that is, I mean, you guys probably already know how qualifiers roll. It is the basic standard procedure. But yeah, nothing much more to be said, ladies and gentlemen. We will be taking a quick, maybe 2-minute break to sort of swap out the commentators, because we will be jumping straight into the round of 16 map pool showcase. Sisyphus, do you have any last words to share with the stream?
Honestly, nothing. I'm saying nothing aside from Weary and Clortle. You guys are discussing e-daters.
You, Type shit. Type shit.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna please someone upset Philippines. Or let me see. Like, I do not want to see this. Like, okay, I love Dami. I love Camo. I love the Origamis, but man, give someone else a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think going into this 6 APC, the Philippines are definitely the villain of this story. And well, we'll just have to hope and see if someone can topple them over. But yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into the seed reveal. And with that, I mean, my name has been Gami Crayola. His name has been Sisyphean Incarnate. And we will see you very, very shortly with our round of 16 pool showcase.
yes, which I in fact will not be here for. That will be all from me. I will be heading out. So,
See you,
yes,
Sisyphus.
so thank y'all for having me. And okay, so good luck to everyone involved. But that will be all.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us for this stream, Sisyphus. And we will see you later on in hopefully more streams to come.
Yes. Bye bye.
I will cut the stream here real quick, just so I have 2 bots. This will make my life certainly easier afterwards. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.